Before starting this evening's regular meeting of council, we have a special presentation here, council resolution, mayoral proclamation honoring the Willoughby Hills Mine Challenge team that won this year's competition. We'll start with the mayor's proclamation. Mayor Helm.
I knew none of you were shy, so come on. So before I start, if each of you could introduce yourselves to council, please. We'll start here.
I'm Ira Lorber. Harlan Abramson.
I'm Mary Melvin.
Ma'am.
Sandy Falk.
George Gardner, Dodds Hill.
Gloria Majeski.
So I'm going to follow our past mayor's practice of not necessarily reading this because everybody can read this. But what I really want to say is that what you all have accomplished and done over the many years, being part of this and kicking it off to begin with, is it's admirable. It brings positive attention to our city, and I love it when you guys kick everybody else's butt. So that's fantastic. It's great to know that we have people who are vibrant and willing to participate in these events, and hopefully it draws more seniors and into our community, into our center, to get involved in programming. So thank you for doing that. This is for you guys. Thank you so much. Who wants it? All right, I will let the council take over. Thank you all.
No, there's one more. Don't get me yet. I've done this before.
While we're waiting for Mike. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I think most people are familiar when we have these council resolutions. I'd like to say we don't get very many perks for being on council. But one of the ones we do get is to be able to present resolutions to people who have made a contribution to the city. And that's certainly what we have here this evening. The Willoughby Hills Mine Challenge team has, over the years, brought in a total now of $5,500. This year's championship money with 2 previous years' second place money. So that is quite an accomplishment. I'm not going to read the resolution. If you really want to read it, you can find it online. I have some personal observations I'd like to make regarding that. Now, first of all, when you look at the resolution, you're going to see it's going to say Mine Challenge is a trivia-based game. Well, I got to tell you, Mine Challenge is a great deal more than trivia. There is some trivia in Mine Challenge, but trivia is questions like, when did the TV Western Gunsmoke premiere? This is far beyond that type of information. You have to know current events. You have to know science. You have to know geography, even medical questions. It takes a great deal of knowledge to be able to successfully participate in a Mine Challenge. Also, there's strategy involved. And I got to tell you, this team is perfect at that, knowing when and how much of your points to bet. And also gamemanship, not disclosing how well or poorly you're doing to the other teams as you go through the tournament. Now, the first year that Willoughby Hills participated in Mine Challenge, the team went to the championship. And they got to the last question. And the last question was, identify the product slogan. And the question was, whose slogan was, as much fun to make as it is to eat. Now, the group conferred, and they came on a collective answer of Jell-O. Well, that wasn't the winning answer. It was Jiffy Pop popcorn. And everybody on the team said, don't worry about it. There's always next year. Well, it took a few years. The team came back to the championship and didn't win that year either. And then pressure started building. There was some concern about getting back there. And there was a rumor started that there was a curse on the Willoughby Hills team, the Jiffy Pop curse, that they wouldn't get back to the championship. Well, they kept working, and this year they did that. They defeated for the championship. I have to believe there'll be quite a few more championships coming. But as a special presentation, besides the resolution, we have something for the winning team. Now, the winning team can choose what they want to do with this. They could have it hung here in City Hall. They can pass it amongst the team members to display in their homes. Or they can heat it up and enjoy the sweet taste of victory. Oh, and by the way, Gunsmoke premiered in 1955. So again, thank everyone on the winning team for being here. Somebody needs to take this. Oh, the resolution. Thanks again. Okay, I am now calling the regular meeting of council for July 9th, 2026 to order at 7:12 p.m. If you have any electronic devices, please turn them off or put them on silent mode. And if everyone would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Council Clerk, please take the roll call.
Councilwoman Siva,
Present.
Council Vice President Taylor Draper,
Present.
Councilwoman Bellich,
Here.
Councilman Jarvis Gavlich,
Present.
Council President Klein,
Present.
Councilman Connect,
Present.
Councilwoman Miller.
Present.
We also have with us this evening Mayor Hallam, City Engineer DeFranco, Finance Director Scott, and Law Director Kinney. First item up is council correspondence. Does anyone have any questions, comments on anything listed herein? All right. Next item is our first public portion. This is an opportunity for the public to address council concerning anything pertaining to tonight's agenda. I will open up this first public portion at 7:14 p.m.
Hi, Jenna Bing, 36951 Beach Hills Drive. I want to start, it's really in regards to 2026-39 and 2026-45. You ask people to come up here and you want to hear people talk, and I come up here and I honestly don't feel you all listen to me. You all think I'm a burden. You think I'm an obstruction. I'm not happy. I have told you on 2026-39, I am very supportive of this ordinance. And I wrote a letter because I couldn't be at a meeting, and I brought it up at a meeting that the ordinance, the way it was written, not the whereases, but the actual wording that would be used by the zoning board, left out the whole aspect of historic buildings only. And the way it was written, if you wanted to, you could go get a permit, and there was nothing that said you couldn't get a permit if you met all these other things, whether you were a historic building or not. That is not nothing of substance. That is completely ignoring what this was meant to do. And I brought it forward, and even at the zoning meeting I brought it forward, and Mr. Lilich very nicely said, I will look at that very specifically. Because he knows that's what they have to go with, is whatever is in that. And it took the mayor to step in to make sure that this actually was going to happen. This was not nothing of substance. I also am concerned about the lift truck, and I would highly encourage the mayor to work with Mr. Scott and with the service director, because in the 5-year capital schedule of capital requirements, there is $200,000 for a snowplow and nothing else. And I know I like Mr. Grubus, and he does not plan well. And this happens all the time. And this is not running a city well when this kind of thing goes on. The fire department plans, the police department plans, service department seems to all of a sudden have vehicles. And this one is ridiculous because how did we not know it was not going to be insurable if that is a time thing? This is not good running a city at all. Now, I tell you, I put my eyes on an awful lot of things to help the city. Like Serpentini is storing their cars over at the Shops of Willoughby Hills parking lot. And Pete has been very nice and said, yes, I will look into it. I'm having conversations with them. I am more than willing because I'm around the city a lot, and all I want is the city to follow the laws it has on the books. Create good ones and follow what's on the books. That is not following it. The same thing with the illegal Airbnbs. And I appreciate, I'm fine looking because I like to look and just check on things. And Mr. Kenny has been very, very receptive as of late because he now understands the issue with it and is probably pursuing the right things to make them stop renting them illegally.
Thank you.
But you gotta act like a city and run it like a city should be run, not this kind of stuff.
Anyone else for public portion? I will close public portion at 7:18 p.m. Would anyone on the dais like to respond to anything said?
Council President,
Mr. Scott?
I just want to stand up for Mark Grubus, who is an incredible employee that saves this city the hundreds of thousands of dollars on an annual basis. He worked in the heat last week every day, tearing up the sewer line for the fire department. If we had bid that job out, it would have easily been 6 figures. He did it with his time, his staff, and they did it for cost. So to sit here and besmirch one of the hardest working people in this city is unacceptable. And I'm not going to stand for it. Now, as far as the budget goes, there's $200,000 in there. It says plow truck. That's correct. That's my fault because I didn't change the description. Mark plans extremely well, and he is the best person at managing his budget that I have ever worked with in my 35 years of being an accountant. So please keep your comments about Mark to yourself. Thank you.
Any other comments, response? All right, I'd like to respond to the comments about the short-term rental ordinance. I have to apologize because apparently there's a problem with the microphones and what people are hearing. Testing, testing. I think they're working. What I said was the ordinance is being revised. I have talked to the law director. Some changes are being made so it can be represented. These are not differences from the substance of the ordinance. The ordinance was written to limit short-term rentals to historical sites, and that's the way it's going to remain. It was simply a question of proper wording so that there was no misunderstanding. All right, we will move on to reports. First up is the mayor's report. Mayor Hallam.
Good evening. On Monday, July 6th, Western Lake County experienced a flash flood when nearly 3 inches of rain fell in approximately 1 hour. The result was flooding in many areas of the city, including streets, homes, and businesses. Our fire station was one of the buildings that was flooded during this most recent event. This is the second event that Mother Nature has hit our area with in just a couple months. As I reported over the past couple months, I am working with our neighboring communities to send a letter to our state representative and congressman to ask that they appropriate funds to ODOT to dredge the storm sewer ditches that are their responsibility. We believe a portion of the flooding issues we have experienced are a result of what appears to be a need for those ditches to receive attention. Additionally, the city is proposing a project near Markham that would handle more water and avoid the road flooding and water backup on the south side of White. And we are putting together a plan to that I discussed actually with Road Superintendent Grubus last week to add retention basins on Gatsby to handle the water issues there. I have also asked Planning and Zoning Commission and Council to look into requiring smoke testing in the city to ensure that residential homes are not emptying their stormwater into the sanitary sewer system. After the flooding on Monday, I contacted Commissioner Beveridge to ask the county for their help in identifying the stormwater management issues and helping with a comprehensive solution to solve or at least considerably mitigate these types of issues. I understand the frustration of our residents with damage and impacts that these events have had on their homes and families alike. I remain committed to finding a long-term solution. We are expecting a call from Jason Boyd from the county to schedule a meeting with their stormwater management folks, as well as their engineer and our engineer and the folks here in the city. I want to, so that's that. I want to share that a potential new cell tower location has been preliminarily approved by one of the major carriers. We are not sure at this time what impacts it would have on the east end of the city. I will share that more as we get further into the potential project. There are some fun community events coming up over the next couple months. We have outdoor movie night on Wednesday, July 15th at Romish Fields. In partnership with Willoughby East Lake Library, we will present Field of Dreams. Concessions open at 7:30 and the movie will begin at dusk. Cops and Cones in partnership with Foster's Homemade Ice Cream is on July 31st. The next community garage sale is scheduled for August 1st, and the city's America 250th weekend will be kicked off by the police and fire department's second annual softball game on August 14th at 5 p.m. And lastly, Music Fest, scheduled for Saturday, August 15th from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. That ends my report, and I stand open to questions.
Any questions for the mayor? All right, we'll move on. The law director's report. Mr. Kenny?
Thank you, Council President Klein. I have no report. I am open for questions.
There being no questions, we'll move on to the finance director's report. Mr. Scott?
Thank you, Council President. The June financials have been completed and are on the website for your review. And also, since we're halfway through the year, I wanted just to give a quick revenue update. No real surprises again. We are down from last year about $245,000 from income tax. We were expecting a decrease because of the cyclical nature of collections, but all other revenue targets are within, I say, within range. So nothing really too much to report. So other than that, I'm open for questions.
There being no questions for Mr. Scott, we'll move on to the city engineer's report. Mr. DeFranco?
Thank you, Council President. Architects in my office have completed the schematic design phase of the police and service building projects. They'll be making a presentation to council this coming Monday at 6 p.m. here in council chambers, and the public is welcome to attend. That concludes my report, but I'm open for questions.
Mr. President,
Councilman Jeremy Scavage.
how is the Chardon Road project coming? I noticed they've got all the steel up there now. Is that still on schedule to be open?
Still on schedule. Yeah, they started laying the beams across 271 this week. And that reminds me, River Road is also complete. They're hoping to open it tomorrow, weather pending. Otherwise, it'll be early next week.
All right.
Council President,
Councilman Miller.
question is, are they planning then striping tomorrow? Is that what it is, the list, or do they stripe today?
I was told they're planning to open for traffic tomorrow if it doesn't rain. So,
It wasn't striped this morning, so that was my question.
All right, we'll move on to boards, commissions, committee reports. Do we have any this evening?
Council President,
Council Vice President.
I'd like to report on Planning and Zoning Commission, Architectural Board of Review. The group met last Thursday, July 2nd, and during the Architectural Board of Review portion of the meeting, there was a new home at 3047 Andrews Lane, that's sublot 9, the Strano House was approved. And that concluded the architectural board portion of the meeting. And during the planning portion of the meeting, and I gave my report already, was the Lexus Auto Group presenting their revised site plan to the group. And that was approved and will be moving to this body. And that concludes my report, and I stand open for questions.
Do we have any other commissions, boards, committee reports? All right, we'll move on. Next up is unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business this evening?
Council President,
Council Vice President.
for the mayor, any cell tower updates?
I just gave one.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry. Did I miss it?
Were you not listening to
I'm
my
sorry.
report?
I'm so sorry. I missed that question.
There has been a potential cell tower site approved by one of the major carriers, and that's all I know at this point. So.
Sorry, I must have drifted off. Sorry.
All right, if we don't have any other unfinished business, we'll move on. First up is the consent agenda. What we have on there this evening, we have the disposition of the journals for approval for June 25th, 2026 for the regular committee meeting minutes, and June 25th, 2026 for the Working Committee of Council and Rules and Legislation minutes. In addition, we have ordinance 2026-38 on second reading. Council Clerk, please read the caption.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to sign any and all necessary documents relating to the Ohio Department of Transportation project number 125062, providing for the LAK SR 091 multimodal path project and declaring an emergency.
We also have ordinance 2026-043 on first reading. Council Clerk, please read the caption.
An ordinance to declare one city vehicle as surplus property and granting authorization to sell said surplus vehicle on the open market upon such terms and at such prices as are deemed most advantageous to the city of Willoughby Hills and declaring an emergency.
And we have ordinance 2026-044 on first reading. Council Clerk, please read the caption.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Willoughby Hills to enter into an agreement with the Lake County Board of Commissioners to participate in the Urban Entitlement Community Development Block Grant Program and for the utilization of funds made available by the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974 as amended and declaring an emergency.
And the chair will accept a motion to approve the consent.
Council President,
Councilwoman Miller.
motion to approve the consent.
I second that.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Miller, second from Council Vice President Taylor Draper to approve the consent. Council Clerk, please take the roll call.
Councilwoman Sevo?
Yes.
Council Vice President Taylor Draper?
Yes.
Councilwoman Belich?
Yes.
Councilman Jarmus-Gavich?
Yes.
Council President Klein?
Yes,
Councilman Connect?
Yes.
Councilwoman Miller?
Yes.
consent has passed. Moving on to legislation. First item up is ordinance 2026-039 amended on second reading. Council Clerk, please read the caption.
An ordinance establishing Chapter 1381 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Willoughby Hills to regulate historic properties as short-term rental facilities.
And this ordinance will remain on second reading. Next is ordinance 2026-045 on first reading. Council Clerk, please read the caption.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to sign any and all necessary documents to secure the purchase of a 2024 MTEC Axion Lift AT4313I aluminum body truck for the city service department from MTEC for the purchase price of $169,900 and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President,
Councilman Jarvis Gabbage.
Make a motion to waive the three reading rule on ordinance 2026-045.
Second?
We have a motion from Councilman Jarvis Gabbage, second from Councilman Connect, to waive the three reading rule on ordinance 2026-045. Is there any discussion? Council Clerk, please take the roll call.
Councilwoman Sivo,
Yes.
Council Vice President Taylor Draper,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bellich,
Yes.
Councilman Jarvis Gabbage,
Yes.
Council President Klein,
Yes.
Councilman Connect,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miller.
Yes.
Three reading rule on ordinance 2026-045 has been waived.
Mr. President,
Councilman Jarvis Gabbage.
make a motion to adopt ordinance 2026-045.
Second?
We have a motion from Councilman Jarvis Gabbage, second from Councilman Connect, to adopt ordinance 2026-045. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Councilman Jarvis Gabbage.
this truck will be a useful tool for our service department in maintaining parts of our city. And even though maybe it wasn't planned on originally, it's something, a deal like this, we couldn't pass up. We need to get to replace the one we have.
Council President,
Councilwoman Miller.
no problem moving forward with this. Our quote does expire in 2023, so we need to get this passed. And I think it's a good investment and a good price for a truck that is tend to last the city quite a few years.
Council Clerk, please take the roll call.
Councilwoman Sivo,
Yes.
Council Vice President Taylor Draper,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bellich,
Yes.
Councilman Jarvis Gabbage,
Yes.
Council President Klein,
Yes.
Councilman Connect,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miller.
Yes.
Ordinance 2026-045 has been adopted. Next up is new business. Do we have any new business this evening? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. Next up is our second public portion, an opportunity for the public to address council with any comments, issues, or concerns. I will open this session of public portion at 7:32 p.m.
Okay, Jenna Bing, 36951 Beach Hills Drive. I guess you didn't hear the first part. Like, you shouldn't yell at people and denigrate them for coming and asking you and speaking to you out of the goodness of their heart. So, Mr. Scott, I didn't say that I didn't like Mr. Grubus. I think he does a fine job. I just have seen through the years that things haven't come forward. From a planning standpoint, I suggest you not yell at me. He can stand up for himself. I like the man. He's a good guy. And Mr. Klein, thank goodness for our internet. So, here's what was said.
And the next step after that is for their holding public hearing. Then they make a decision if they support it. I will pass it back to council. Council then would hold a public hearing of their own and make a final decision and vote on it. At last week's planning and zoning meeting, the commission, I had some questions. They had some recommendations that they would like to see in it, and nothing of substance, nothing changing the.
That is what I heard. Nothing of substance in what was brought forward from them that you was talked about. Again, I say, it is utmost part of substance that the whole zoning port that you were putting into the code has to carry the whole words of historic buildings. If not, it opens for everything. Your words were, oh, they had some suggestions, nothing of substance. Hello, and you yelled at me. Do you not get that I come forward and want to help the city? I'm sorry.
You yelled first.
Pardon?
This is not a discussion.
But I will tell you, I get strident, but I don't, you guys have to have thick skins up there. I mean, you ought to grow some thick skins. What you say to me doesn't bother me. I'll tell you though, I've seen people come here, come to zoning, and if you start crying, people get very upset and will take care of you and listen to you. I think I may go home and try to figure out how to cry in front of you all so that you will start to take what I say seriously and at least act on it instead of turning around and yelling at me. That is not how you treat a resident. And I hope to God you don't treat all these other residents that are here to complain justifiably the same way you treat me. Thank you.
Jen Vero, 2890 Som. I'd like to address the preliminary approval of the proposed Classic Auto Group reconditioning building. My primary concern is the excessive amount of parking being proposed. For a reconditioning facility, nearly 300 parking spaces is unreasonable and creates an unnecessary and intrusive impact on the residential properties immediately to the south. If this is truly a reconditioning building, I believe the number of parking spaces should be significantly reduced. In my opinion, no more than 100 spaces should be permitted, and even that is generous for this type of use. While reducing 18 spaces to buffer 271, I question why the buffer is not to the south for the residential home that will reside and continue people living there. I'm also confused by the approval process. Based on the city's flow chart, why is this proposal coming before City Council before obtaining the necessary approvals from the Board of Zoning Appeals? As proposed, the property does not meet the minimum acreage and frontage requirements for the requested zoning, requiring variances. If vehicles are also intended to be stored on this site, that would require an additional variance because vehicle storage is not permitted in Zone E. It would seem that those issues should be resolved before council is asked to consider this proposal. Finally, I would like an update regarding the continued storage of Serpentini Chevrolet trucks at the Lomans Plaza. I raised the issue at the last meeting and was told it has been addressed. However, the trucks do remain there. Since vehicle storage is not permitted at that location, why are they still there? When the dealership was owned by O'Brien Chevrolet, this was never an issue, demonstrating that the business can operate without using Lomans Plaza as a storage lot. I respectfully request answers to these questions and ask that council carefully consider whether the scale of the Classic proposal is appropriate and consistent with the city's zoning regulations. And to the mayor, I am curious if you could elaborate on your cell tower that you had discussed initially that was going to go facing 271 if this proposal goes through on that Classic property. You had mentioned there would be a cell tower going up along 271. So I was just curious, because in that same conversation you mentioned a city sign up in the front as well. Thank you.
Anyone else for public portion?
Good evening, Patrick Gallagher. I live at 2937 Gatsby Lane. I had a whole list of things prepared to say to you. Mr. Mayor, you did exactly what I'm asking. This time around, I was 1 inch of water away from losing my furnace. I do want to note that I'm actually hesitant to file claims with the insurance company anymore for fear of being dropped from coverage because I've had a whole bunch of flooding claims. And as a real estate expert, you know that I could never sell my house with the problem that I'm having now. This is twice. I've flooded probably 6 times in the last 15 years, 6 times with considerable damage. And I'm asking, we're going to consult with engineers. I'm asking that you push that process hard because I can't do this anymore. And my house, I could never sell it. It's a beautiful home, and it needs to be taken care of. I'll forego giving you all this for the time being, but I truly ask that you push this issue very hard. Thank you.
Good evening, Lisa Ingram, 2921 Gatsby Lane. We're back. Okay, so if you guys don't mind, I'm going to approach because I brought visuals. And I don't need a microphone, my children will tell you. Okay, so this is, and you guys can pass it around, this is the front of my house. My brother is a Willoughby assistant chief in Willoughby Fire, and he came over to see my dad and literally got stuck and had it. This is them trying to get him out, okay? He had to be there for quite a while until they came. This is Vitalone's. You can see the depth of it from Vitalone's. Pass around. Okay, this is the raging river between my house and our neighbors. Raging river, okay? It is not a slight problem. It is a big problem. We have videos, if you like, of the raging river. Yes, yes. Thankfully, I was at work the raging river between our house and our neighbor. Our poor neighbor, they were on their way to Portugal and had to find out from the alarms going off in their house that their basement was flooding. Yay for them. Okay? There we go. This is the mayor, I believe. I wasn't there. Okay? But again, videos of it is not a small problem, it is a big problem. I want to show you my beautiful pool that is now with all the neighborhood equipment. I would love to know who's going to keep paying for that, because even though we live in a bigger home to accommodate my family, we are not millionaires. So every time the pool fills and has to be emptied, and every time the basement has damage, and every time here's my basement, it was coming in through the walls because of the fact that there was a raging river there. And then when it was starting to subside, which a lot of these pictures are after the fact when it was subsiding, then the sewage started coming through my basement shower. Okay? That's a beautiful smell if you're ever over. Then I would like to show you Pat's basement. Okay? That's Pat's basement that just spoke. Okay? If you see the walls are cut out because he has flooded so many times, he doesn't even bother. But on my way home from work, because I couldn't get home, I was at my job, I couldn't get home, I took pictures of, if you guys go down Rockefeller, that beautiful little white ranch, I didn't even know if they were home. They had water coming on both sides. And then if you cross that little bridge, you know there's that house that's close to the road? Take a look at their beautiful yard. Oh, I know I'm done, but I will tell you, my aging parents, again, we bought this house to accommodate them. Emergency crews could not get to them if they had an emergency. My parents just had the paramedics there on July 3rd, okay? I saw the black clouds out here, I was just wondering if I could get home, but so far so good. And I know you're doing stuff, but I just need it moved along. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, City Engineer, City Attorney, Council. I'm Wayne Ingram, 2921 Gatsby Lane. That's my wife. And yeah, so we've been dealing with this for a bit, and I would like to be helpful in terms of proposing a solution. When we bought the house 11 years ago, we worked with Mayor Wager at the time and agreed for some work to help alleviate the street drainage. I think it worked 95% of the time. So what we just saw there was, has it become a more, this is twice this year that we've had the river, and it was literally, the videos were to my neighbor at 2920 who was on their way to Portugal as I said that. So with that said, you know, I'm open to that. I do realize that, you know, naturally everything's heading to our two homes, and it's shooting right to the creek, so it's heading to the creek. But this is bigger than, Willoughby Hills has first responsibility. Second would be the county stormwater management, but it also dumps into a creek and it dumps into a swamp area, which I'm not sure, this is out of my space for a little bit. Swampland, it's probably marsh, and so that could be Corps of Engineers, it could be FEMA, definitely Ohio EPA. So with that said, this is bigger than Willoughby Hills, but Willoughby Hills is first, Lake County second. So what I'm asking the council is, we need a proposed plan with a timeline on something to do. We talked about this before, and I do appreciate the mayor's efforts with the county, but there's also sewer district, and my concern from a health standpoint is the sewage component. So we're also a border state, right? So we're on the border of Richmond Heights and Highland Heights, which actually Highland Heights showed up to our house, love you, Chief, as mutual aid, but we're also getting runoff from that too, down Rockefeller, White Road, et cetera. So this is a big problem. I think we can get a big solution. Final statement, I don't have a problem with getting a bigger culvert getting through our property just to get the water off the street, but all that does is going to kick it down the street to the White House down Rockefeller, and the creeks through Richmond Heights, right? So again, and that's bigger than us too. So with that said, thank you for your time, and I appreciate your attention.
Thank you. Anyone else for public portion? All right. With that, I will close public portion at 7:45 p.m. And is there anyone on the dais that'd like to respond to anything said during this second public portion.
Council President.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, all of you, for coming. Please believe me that this is important to me. I'm reaching out. I'm trying to climb the ladder, as kind of Wayne mentioned, of getting help and getting. I feel like once we get county on board, they know people at the next level that they can push to get them involved. And you're right. I mean, it has to. We have to get a solution. We can't keep doing this. And I think it's been one of those things where at one point people were able to say, it doesn't. It's just every once in a while. Well, that's not seemingly the case anymore. So I'm not the guy. I'm not the kind of guy that kicks the can down the road, as you've probably seen over the last few years. I'm dealing with things that have been passed on to me, and I'm trying to get them resolved. So thank you for your continued patience, but I am pushing on this. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Council President?
Mr. DeFranco.
I can respond to a few items brought up by Ms. Varro. I have contacted the shops about the serpentine vehicles being parked there. I contacted them 2 or 3 weeks ago. I will follow up with them, trying to be a good partner. They're not doing any harm being parked there, but it is a code violation, so I will be following up with them. She brings up a good point about the overnight storage for the Classic project. So I think that'll be another variance that they will need from BZA if council approves the use change. I think that was it.
Council President.
Mr. Mayor.
I do want to add a couple things. First of all, there is, so just so all of you know, the buffer is not just the south side. There's actually a large buffer all along the south edge. So perhaps you didn't see it on the drawing, but it's a huge buffer zone on that side. I believe it's going to be a 3-foot mound with trees on top of that that'll be blocking view. In my opinion is that if this business, this is what they want, and they can make it so that it is not obtrusive to anyone else, and they can get the variances they need. I think we should be supportive of the business. It's in the right spot. It complies with the master plan for that area specifically, and I think once we get into it, I think you'll see that they are being a really good neighbor. Is one single property to the south, and they will be just as they were to the folks that are behind them now, where they are. They will continue, I believe them when they say they will take care of making sure that it's right. So I'm very confident that this will be a great project if it is allowed to proceed. And they are a really good neighbor and a really good partner with the city. Thank you. Oh, all right, one other thing. To answer your question about the cell tower, nothing further on that at this point, or the sign for that matter. So yet to be determined. If this project goes through, then we'll have those conversations. Thank you.
Anyone else have comments? All right. I'd like to respond to Ms. Bing regarding short-term rental ordinance. Since you like playing videos, go back and play the planning and zoning meeting from last week when I put on the presentation to the committee, and you will hear in our discussion, everyone on the dais and myself agreed with what changes had to be made were not substantial. Thank you. We'll now move on for the good of the order, for the good of the community. Does anyone have anything this evening?
Mr. President,
Councilman Jarmuscavich.
I'd just like to offer condolences to the Celine family. Marianne Celine passed away last week. Her and her husband Dave were very involved with the Boys League and the sports programs for years in the city. It's sad to see that she passed away last week.
Anyone? Mr. Mayor.
Yes. I want to say something that this group goes largely unsung. I do mention them from time to time, but I want to thank the Beautification Committee made of Councilwoman Taylor Draper, Councilwoman Vicki Miller, and Councilwoman Julie Belich. You continuously and consistently go above and beyond on your own time to make sure that this building and everywhere else in the city that you can control and get a hold of looks nice. And I appreciate the input that you continuously share with me and our partnership for making things better in the city and welcoming in the city. The America 250 banners are wonderful. They look great. And so thank you for continuing to do that and putting your heart into the city. So thank you.
Anyone else? I have two things. The first is I've gotten some calls, some emails recently from concerned residents regarding the second half 2025 real estate tax bills. Where are they? From the Lake County Treasurer's website, I will read this. The Lake County Treasurer's Office announces that due to recent past legislation by the state of Ohio, the due date for the second half 2025 real property and 2026 manufactured home tax bills have been extended to August 5th, 2026. Printed bills are at the printer and will be mailed no later than July 16th, 2026. And last thing, today is National Sugar Cookie Day. Tomorrow is National French Fry Day. I'll take the French fries over the sugar cookies. Saturday is National Senior Citizen Day. So all you young'uns out there better show some of us seniors some more respect. And with that, the chair will accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Beller, second from Councilman Jarmuscavich to adjourn this evening's meeting. Council Clerk, please take the roll call.
Councilwoman Sebo?
Yes.
Council Vice President Taylor Draper? Councilwoman Belich?
Yes.
Councilman Jarmuscavich?
Yes.
Council President Klein?
Yes.
Councilman Connect?
Yes.
Councilwoman Miller?
Yes.
Regular meeting of council for July 9th, 2026 is adjourned at 7:53 p.m. Thank you for coming.